Good morning all, Suburban Sentinel here, along with Bella the camera cat. You can kind of see her in the top right corner of the screen. She's always willing to quote-unquote help. And today we are doing a review of the Raven Concealment Vanguard 2 trigger holster. And this particular model here is for the Glock series of pistols. As a matter of disclosure, I have no financial or other interests in Raven Concealment or any of its subsidiaries or corporate owners. I am simply an ordinary retail customer. Actually, I had no intentions of doing this video review. Of course, YouTube is one of my primary sources of research in deciding to buy a piece of gear. And I watched several very good videos on this particular piece of equipment. Namely, Captain Burrs did a very nice review, and so did Phalia Photography. And I will leave links to those two reviews in the description box below. I don't want to reinvent the wheel, but one of the things all of the previous reviewers had in common is that they were young and fit. And I certainly don't begrudge them of that. Quite frankly, I'm a little jealous. But the bottom line is us old fat guys carry guns too. So I do think I have some perspective and a couple of other little doodads to add. This is why we call her the camera cat. You have the entire house to run around. But nope, got to be right here. If Bella will indulge me for a moment, this is the gizmo we're talking about up close. Hope that focuses in okay. This is the Raven Concealment Vanguard 2 trigger holster for Gen 3 and Gen 4 Glock pistols. This holster is for, among other things, inside the waistband carry and ideally suited for appendix carry. Now, I'm not really a fan of either inside the waistband nor appendix carry at all. So why get this thing? I purchased this holster for the limited purpose of having a backup gun when I'm in the car. In this crazy state, you are allowed to have a loaded gun in your car, of course, assuming you have a pistol permit, but the gun, if it's loaded, must be on your person. Now, I usually carry my primary sidearm at the 7 o'clock position. I'm left-handed. I like to carry a backup gun, which I carry weak-hand, normally at the 4 o'clock position. In a car with bucket seats, it's nearly impossible to access my primary weapon from the driver's seat and very difficult to get to my backup gun at the 4 o'clock position as well. So I was looking for an appendix carry holster to be used specifically while driving. Certainly nothing against those of you who prefer to appendix carry inside the waistband. I don't like to wear shirts that are untucked. I'm kind of old-fashioned. I prefer collared shirts tucked into slacks, and I conceal both my primary and backup guns with a sport jacket in most cases. So give me a moment to get Bella's furry rear end out of the way, and we will proceed with the review of this Raven Concealment Holster Old Fat Guy Edition. The holster consists of two main parts. First, there's the trigger block, and that's this part in here that simply snaps over your entire trigger guard of the pistol. And the second main part is this strut. Let's see if I can get this to focus a little better. That's this piece here that's screwed to the trigger block. Both appear to be made of injection molded polymer and are of high quality and nicely finished. Attached to the strut is this Kevlar reinforced rubber belt loop, and this is actuated with a mil-spec one-way snap. As a side note, if you tend to have problems with these mil-spec snaps, check that the snap ring inside is properly aligned. That's usually the problem. There are a couple of different ways of using this holster, and for demo purposes, let me get my old Glock 26 out here. This gun has been safety checked before, but as you can see, there is no magazine and the chamber is clear. And if you're going to carry inside the waistband, quite simply, you just take the holster and it snaps over the trigger guard. Then you run this loop around your belt and snap it closed with the mil-spec snap. And when you go to draw the gun from retention, the belt loop will keep the holster inside your pants and the gun comes out. Also notice this lanyard hole here at the front of the holster. This allows for other means of carry. Now, this holster came with a piece of paracord, which I can't find at the moment, so this shoelace will be a decent substitute. And essentially, if you want to be able to draw your gun with one hand, simply take a piece of paracord or other appropriate cordage of sufficient strength and anchor it to something strong in a pack, a purse, and the like. And again, we'll use our Glock 26 for demo purposes, and this has been safety checked. So, when properly anchored, just pulling on the pistol will withdraw it from the holster. And you're ready to go one-handed. Again, this is a friction or press fit retention system. And I want to do a quick warning on this. Be very careful when you holster your weapon in this Raven Concealment Vanguard 2. It works very well, but I encourage everyone to do a visual inspection even though the holster gives you an audible click. And I'll show you what I mean by that. To holster the weapon, all you're going to do is take the Vanguard and snap it up onto the trigger guard. But if you're not careful, you can actually seat the holster such that the entire trigger guard is not covered. Let me bring this up. Hopefully this will focus. You see how it's not properly seated? You can see a little bit of the trigger in there. You want to make sure that the holster is seated all the way back so that the entire trigger mechanism is covered. This works very well. Just I encourage everyone to do a visual inspection every time you holster the weapon. Another very nice feature of this holster is its inherent adjustability. You'll note, again, they have the secondary component is this strut held on by this screw. And this strut can be swapped from one side to the other, so it's suitable for both left and right-handed shooters. A plus for that, speaking as a lefty. One can also adjust the cant of the holster if you're carrying inside the waistband simply by loosening this screw and changing the angle of the belt loop. Finally, you can adjust the ride height of the holster in one of these three holes. I like to have the holster ride low, but again, you can change the height. Very, very nice setup. A couple of quick notes on using this holster. First, in my opinion, the best practice for putting the holster onto the weapon is to have the weapon unloaded. Notice that with this Glock, even with the holster fully seated, you still have access to the magazine release and the slide release. So you can engage the holster with the gun empty, then load the gun. I think this would be the safest practice, and I do believe they mention that in the manual. Second, if you're carrying your firearm using this holster inside your waistband, this is not designed for easy reholstering. Once you draw the weapon, the only real safe and practical solution is to take the entire holster off your body and then reposition it. Not a big deal. It's just not something meant for the range or easy reholstering. On a backup gun, it is certainly not a big deal. Let's talk about comfort. When I first got this holster, and I've been wearing this for a couple of months now, I really wasn't digging it. And the reason is it was digging me. When seated, the holster, this part of it would dig into my lower torso. It was very uncomfortable. In addition, when I was wearing it, what would tend to happen is that the gun would roll over my pants. It never actually came out of the holster. It would just be sticking out and not in a very good position for drawing, and it would print very badly. Why was I having these problems? Well, the brutally honest answer is I'm too damn fat. I'm sure that dropping 10 or 15 pounds would really help, but even without losing weight, I now do use this holster and I'm very comfortable. And the cure was getting pants that fit properly. When I first started using this holster, I was using a very inexpensive, or what I would call cheap, blue jeans and cheap chinos. Essentially, the rise on the pants was not cut properly for someone my height. That's one factor. Also, the waist of the pants were a little bit too tight to accommodate carrying inside the waistband. But once I switched to pants that were well made and fit well, those problems disappeared. And even a fat guy like me can wear this holster, at least with a Glock 26, and I haven't tried it with my Glock 17 yet, but I can wear this holster comfortably all day. So if you're interested in using this holster and you have a middle-aged paunch, get pants that fit properly and use a good gun belt too. That helps with the retention. In sum, I really like this holster. There are a lot of advantages. First, there's the safety. When the trigger guard is completely enclosed, I believe the gun is about as safe as you can make it. Also, the holster system as it exists here is not at all bulky. It's lightweight. It's highly adjustable. It's multi-purpose, so you can use it for inside the waistband or for drawing out of a pack or bag. Also, you could put it to your nightstand. That would be nice too. It has very good retention without it being difficult to draw, and the holster is very good quality. Also, Raven Concealment provided a very nice set of instructions, which if you get the holster, I would recommend reading. They're full color, although the print is kind of small for my old eyes. I had to get my magnifier. I really like this holster. The only real disadvantage I can see, which is not much, is that you're not going to be able to reholster your weapon easily. But to me, that's not a big deal, especially for a backup gun. As far as value, the holster I think was $35 plus a couple dollars in shipping. And to me, that is a terrific value for something that provides this much performance, comfort, and durability. So there you have it. The Fat Guy's Guide to the Raven Concealment Vanguard 2. Thanks for watching. This is the Suburban Sentinel. Please thumbs up and subscribe if you like what you see. Questions and enlightening comments are always welcome. And Bella and I are signing off. Say goodbye, Bells.